Is it me or is anybody else just kind of over the Porsha and Shamia of it all? I mean, I don't really know where else we can really go with this whole situation. And to be quite honest with you, I think I figured out the issue that I have with Shamia in this situation. And it is an issue that I feel like is resolvable. Okay. So we're going to get into that. So make sure you guys stick around because I have a way to end all of the chaos. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Here I am with solutions. Okay. Solutions, baby. Solutions. With that being said, make sure you guys like and subscribe this video. We're going to be talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. The episode is season 17, episode 16, Halloween Hot Pocket. Shamea's rum launch faces hurdles as Porsha weighs love and celebration weighs love and a celebration spirals into chaos. Now, let me just give you my thoughts overall about this episode. This was one of the most chopped and screwed episodes that I have seen in a very long time. Okay. The Halloween party was so chopped, so screwed, and I was trying to understand when we were going to get to the apex, right? Like the climax of this party that was going to erupt into something, but it just turned into like a big nothing burger. And I think what makes it feel like a nothing burger even more so is that we don't know that Shamia knows what's going on with the rum punch. With I will keep wanting to say rum punch, with rum bum rum, bum, whatever it is. I personally, I think it's maybe a fun idea for her to have a mold made of the girls' booties, but you don't even get along with half these girls. I would not want any of their booties associated with my bum rum. I just wouldn't. Like, why would you like if you do you really want to say in a couple of years that you have a bum of Angela's from way back in 2026 when she was saying that you was sleeping with George of the Jungle? Like, is that really what you want? Is that what you want for the legacy of your brand? Not to mention, girl, is this a partnership or is this a distribution? Are you paying for distribution? What is really going on here with this rum punch? Because she has to go and meet. Now I'm just calling it a rum punch. Okay, now I mean we're just at a rum punch because it might as well just be a rum punch because I don't know if there's a partnership here. Because when she meets with her lawyer in this chocolate brown jumpsuit, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, you look great, but I don't know about this rum, man. I don't know about this rum, babe. I don't know if they're trying to give it to you. It don't sound like it. So what we're gonna serve at the party? What we gonna serve at the party? What are we serving at the party? Um, it, I I don't know. I wouldn't be until that thing is signed on that dotted line, and maybe it is by now. But I definitely wouldn't be. We wouldn't be having their people's bum rum at my party. Okay, not at the fete. All right, not at my fete. Meanwhile, so Shamia meets with her lawyer. K Michelle is all over this episode. Okay, all over this episode, and I kind of like it because, see, it's unfortunate that I know now what I know about K Michelle in terms of where she is with Shamia and how she done went off on Shamia mama. If I didn't know all of that in the present moment, then I would be inclined to think K Michelle might just be the glue that Cynthia Bailey is purporting to be. Okay? Because she is all over the place trying to have real conversations, sometimes about things that I feel like aren't quite real, but we'll get to that. And I feel like she is trying to do the work of housewiving. Okay? I mean, she's showing up for everybody's scenes, and I like it. And what it feels like as if I'm watching this episode is she's not solely aligned with one person, except for Angela. But even when Angela has some misgivings, I really wish that she would, in the moment, call these people out versus saving it for her confessional where it seems like she's thought and processed about these things a bit more and maybe now has a perspective on it, whereas in real time, maybe she did or she did not. I don't know. What I will say is she has an intimacy night of some sort of yoga late in the midnight hours, according to Angela, because Angela's like, I'll be asleep right now. Angela, I'm right there with you, right? Okay, girl, I want to be in the house by 9. Okay. So if we out here doing some things at 10 o'clock at night, all right, it better be that we done already had dinner and we already out. You got to catch me while we still out. But if I got to come out of the house to now meet with you for some yoga, oh no, ma'am, not unless I'm on vacation. Okay. I don't do those types of things unless I'm on vacation, which I will be doing in the Bali in just a couple of short weeks. Okay. So there is that. But mind you, I'm with you, Angela. I'm with you when you're right. Okay. So K. Michelle, cast. I like that. Sorry, Castin. I just feel like cast. Yeah, cast is better. Anyway, Angela and her man, Charles, they get together with K. Michelle and cast KK. And so they have their yoga session or whatever like that. I mean, it looked like the two people that was doing the yoga session that was conducting it was way more into it than the people that was actually in these relationships, but it provided some comedy nonetheless. And so what ends up happening is they talk about Shamea. Of course, all roads lead back to Shamea. For the person who is the most disliked in this group, they talk about her so much, okay? So much. The other girls, not Porsha, okay? Not Porsha. She's smart. So what ends up happening is Angela surmises that Shamea is a professional victim. And I figured out what it is that makes her appear that way. And I'm going, I got you. Don't worry. I told y'all I got you. I got you. It's coming. Because K. Michelle's next stop on the train to be in the glue, Elmer's, which I think Cynthia showed up as Elmer's. I don't know what it is. But K. Michelle shows up to lunch, dinner, brunch, or something like that with Shamea. We learned that she really hasn't spoken with Shamea since she's been back from Scotland. Now, that's apparently odd to K. Michelle because they are used to speaking just about every day, which makes this thing so much crazier to me when I really think about it. Because if I'm talking to you every day, that means I'm really comfortable with you. But first of all, I ain't talking to nobody every day. Okay, I don't talk to none of my friends every day. I barely can keep up with the group messages. Okay, I'm that person. If you are expecting to speak to me every day, you will be sadly disappointed because I am not that guy. I'm just not. Okay, I'm not. Like I feel like once you get in your 40s, you just be like, I'm working. I'm doing things. I'm trying to be my best self. Okay, I'm trying to recover. All right. So anyway, this is my assumption too. My assumption is K. Michelle being a new housewife is probably wrapped up in the vortex of housewiving. And what I do know is, okay, I'm gonna let y'all know that when people get caught up in this world, they do talk a lot. They talk a lot, like a lot. And you know, some people this becomes their entire world. I'm just gonna tell you the truth now, okay? And I get it because it's like a job that they're excited by and they want to make sure that they're maneuvering correctly. They want to be able to, you know, kiki with somebody and strategize or what should I do, get advice. You know, I'm sure that's all very natural. I mean, I guess I would want to be doing the same thing if I'm coming into this group as well. But K. Michelle says that they talk every day, but they hadn't talked, you know, since they've been back from Scotland. Now, on the flip side of that, I want you to think about something that Cynthia said. Cynthia had talked to nobody. Okay, she said she really hadn't talked to nobody since she got back from Scotland. I'm the Cynthia, okay? I'm like that because I didn't been with y'all 24/7 and I need some space. So, but I think that's what is so crazy to me with K. Michelle is that if you talk to Shamea every day, and that's what y'all were used to before the trip, why would you go and tell Pinky about your issue with Shamea versus telling Shamea, hey girl, like this made me uncomfortable. And I don't want to, it didn't happen on camera. So I want to bring it up to you. You know, like it makes me feel a little funny. You know what I'm saying? If y'all talking every day, why wouldn't you have that conversation? That still boggles my mind and baffles me. But what I'm learning is K Michelle does not react in the moment. She does not. Okay. Now, whether that is practiced because I'm afraid of who my shadow will reveal, right? Or it is that I am trying to be a different person, okay? And I'm trying to leave my shadow in the background, right? So it's either I'm afraid of who the shadow will reveal, meaning if I react, then I will reveal myself to be the old me. Or I am containing my shadow because I know better. Okay, that's two different reasons, and I get both of them. But what ends up happening for K Michelle is that she continues to speak very, very critically about things that should be said in the moment because it would be much more interesting than said in the confessional, where it will either be forgotten about later, conveniently or otherwise, and never addressed again. Okay, so she does look like the person who is I'm very much about telling the truth, about having real reactions, but it only seems to be in the confessional that it happens. But I do appreciate the fact that she does like to sit down with a person one-on-one to resolve issues, which is something that a lot of these even more seasoned ladies seem to have a hard time doing, right? K Michelle is very good for, I'm going to sit down with you one-on-one. I might go around to every single person beforehand before I do so, but it's not going to take long and I'm gonna still do it. So I appreciate that for K Michelle because that's something that I feel like most people don't get right. So she sits down with Shamia and she wants to know, girl, why did you go so low so fast with Porsha? And Shamia is like, well, people seem to forget that she went low with me after the reunion. Here's what happened for those of you guys that don't recall. Some kind of way the mamas was brought up during the reunion. I don't know if it was by Porsha or Shamia, but it was brought up. Okay. Y'all can debate that in the comments. What we do know is afterwards, Porsha had some things to get off her chest about something that Shamia's mom did that was so egregious. Shamia is now months in the future, okay? Because the season had ended. Porsha made that post from what I remember. And now you are midway through, almost at the end of filming for this season. And now you want to bring up in retaliation what Porsha's mama allegedly did to your mama. Here's the gotcha though. Shamia, you, like K Michelle, need to start reacting in the moment. Had Porsha at that moment said what she said online and then you clap back right then and there, well, girl, your mama did X, Y, or Z right then when she posted it versus trying to take the high road, trying to making the apology videos. And girl, please stop apologizing, okay? Because after a while, it does start to feel like you're just checking boxes. Okay. If you're gonna apologize to someone, the only person I feel like you might could have apologized to would have been Phaedra. If you want to say, "Hey, girl, I'm sorry if I ruined your day, your dinner, or something like that." But to apologize to the rest of those girls, no, this is Housewives. I mean, we've definitely seen much worse. Now, granted, yeah, the mama drama, I don't think we've seen anything like that. Okay. But we have definitely seen some crazy moments. I mean, I saw Lisa Rinna bust a glass on a table, okay? And literally wrench across the table like she was about to choke somebody out. I saw that. She ain't apologized. I don't know if she apologized to the group or not, but I don't feel like she felt like she was. I felt like she felt like she was. Yeah, you talking about my husband? Absolutely, you gonna get what you get, okay? Remember, Mariah was in that. I don't know where they were. Was they in Mexico or somewhere? And her and Dr. Heavenly was going into it, and Mariah grabbed that wine glass or something that she busted busted up on that table that time, and she had that thing and she was ready. I don't know. I don't know if she was about to shank her or what. But all I know is we done seen some knockdown drag outs. So to apologize to these girls like this is like the worst thing that they've ever seen on earth. Now, granted, again, it is about the mama, so that is definitely another depth that we ain't really quite seen, but we seen some depths. So to continue to apologize to these girls, even at your own party, girl, no, If it were me, if I were you, I wouldn't even address it anymore. So K Michelle asking you this on camera, I would be like, girl, I'm not even done. I'm over it. She can have it. It is what it is. I said what I said. I had a moment. If you are going to define me by this moment, then that's on you. Okay. But my argument with Portia has really nothing to do with anybody else. I was at my height of what I could take, and I went there. But Shamia, I'm telling you, this is your problem, and this will resolve all of your problems. If you are going to be on this show, when these people come at you crazy, if it is actually in your nature to take the high road, this is not the show for you. Okay? It's really not. You need to be on an HGTV show where we can explore the beautiful home that you have, where we can travel with you. That is the show for you. I don't think that this is the right platform for Shamia. I don't. And I think that, listen, Shamia's got it going on. She can probably buy most of these other people's houses, okay? But at the end of the day, it's like, do you need this? And I get it. You want your time to shine, but there's so many other ways to do that. I just don't think that you need to be you just don't give the energy of somebody that really is in the fight of this. And that's what it is. It's a fight. It's a fight. And really, to be honest with you, I feel like they know that you're not in it like that, right? And that's why they keep testing you. And I just think that either you're going to grow into someone who is able to really deal with these types of things, or you grow into someone who says, I don't need this. And I got a great life. And I think that's my thing too. I'm like, you got a good life. What are you in the weeds for, girl? I would not the drama here is so low frequency. Granted, yes, we enjoy it, but for real, the drama is low frequency, girl, and you are like you got a high vibrational life from what everybody says, from what I can see on the screen. That's all I'm saying. Because what you don't ever see is, again, as Shamia points out, no one is going to Porsha to ask Porsha to take any accountability for things that she has said about the Shamia situation when they were not in season. Because Porsha did, I mean, it was kind of a smart play when she posted about it afterwards as almost like an emotional response to what she had seen on the screen. At that point in time, Shamia, that was your moment, right? But you're not living in that space. So now you've pent this thing up, okay? You've pent this thing up and you're bringing it back to camera, and wonder why everybody's reacting only to this. They are reacting only to this because that is what they are present for, okay? Porsha going off online, they're present, but they're not on that's not their battlefield, right? They're on this battlefield in this iteration of the show in a new season. What are you going to do? Okay? You've got to either recognize that the girl is done with you. She is done. And as much as you want to cry about this being a friendship divorce, you just got to let it go, babe. You got to let it go, babe. You got to let it go because she's moved on. It is easy also for people who, like, even if Porsha does interviews, she's not really being asked a lot about Shamia the way that Shamia is being asked about Porsha. And I feel like you need to do a better job of shutting these things down if you really want to survive in this world. Okay. So that's my solution for the Porsha and Shamia beef of it all is if you guys are going to be in the same space, Shamia, you've got to learn how to be able to navigate this without her being the center of your world. And I understand that she's not in real life, But in the mix of this world, because Portia's positioning is just going to be stronger because she's been on the show longer and she knows how to maneuver in these situations. Next, so Shamia, and I feel like this is another thing, and I'm gonna let this go. I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go because I don't feel like I've been trying to coach Shamia through the screen throughout this whole season, but it's too late, really, because the season is done and we have moved on. Right? They have moved on in real life. But I'm just like, girl, I understand. They probably wanted to make this Halloween party an all cast event. I'm not sure who you let coerce and convince you, okay? Convince you that you needed to send Porsha an invitation to get her butt molded for your bum and then invite her to your party and expect anything other than what you got in return as a response. I agree with Porsha. Girl, are you insane? I'm not coming to your party. Get out of my face. Move around. Skedaddle. And it's like you keep falling for the okie doke that people are setting you up for. I, in no way, shape, or form, can believe that you thought to yourself that she was coming to your party. I cannot believe that. But what I do believe is that you probably thought, well, I need to show that I'm still a team player and I'm still going to invite her. For what? That's not what you would really do in real life. No, it is not. So while you think that you're danged if you do and you're danged if you don't, how about you don't and be danged? Okay, that's what I would do. It's one thing to say I'm danged if I do, danged if I don't. So stop. Be danged if you don't. That's all. That's some advice for real life for y'all. Okay, you feel like you're in a no situation. You feel like if you do, you're gonna get blamed, or you're gonna get people gonna be coming after you, and if you don't, you're gonna get blamed, and the people gonna be coming after you. So let's not waste effort. Don't. Okay, whatever it is, don't do the opposite. If doing is effort, then don't stop. Okay, that will solve all your problems. I promise you. This is age and wisdom telling you right here, right now. Don't. You danged if you do, then don't. Period. Stop it. So anyway, and I will be mindful of what I tell K Michelle too anyway, because at the end of the day, last time something happened and she didn't like it, she ran and told Pinky, who ran and told everybody else. Those girls are not your friends. Okay? They're not. They are each other's friends because they're not doing that to each other. I don't know. Pinky did do that to K Michelle. I don't know if K Michelle told her to tell everybody else, but Pinky ran and told everybody else. So I might be mindful of Pinky. Meanwhile, there's some things going on with Porsha and Mike and Sway, and she's in the middle of a love triangle trying to figure it out. I mean, it's hard for me because I just don't buy into this story. But I did love watching Porsha buy her mom a house. I thought that was really, really nice. I like that scene. I like that they invited Dennis into the mix because it kind of felt very family oriented. You know, obviously he still, is there with the family during these good moments and stuff like that. So I did like seeing that. She does a photo shoot with Pilar. I am so much more interested in these aspects of her life and the aspects of to me, I would not even talk about Simon. I wouldn't even bother to say his name, okay? Because every time you call his name, he is going to appear, okay? He's gonna appear. Even if you cloak his face in a black shadow, that man is gonna appear. I would just simply say, you know what? We have some old portraits in the home, and I want to replace them with portraits of Pilar and I. That would be all I would do. Period. Okay. All right. Next. Let me just touch on this, the Mike and Porsha of it all. I don't believe it. I think that after that first episode that we actually saw him and then he went out and he did that skit. To me, I didn't believe it when I saw it, and I don't believe it. I definitely don't believe it after he did the skit because I'm like you can't even come on, bro. Like if you're hired to do a job, do your job. Like you're on a Real Housewives of Atlanta. I mean, I understand that you're already doing the skits, but like, dang, bro. Like, I guess for me, It has less to do with him. It has more to do with her. Find somebody that is not in the world of skits and comedy, that's not going to make a mockery of what it is that you're trying to give us on the screen. Okay. For me, I don't know what was happening with you and Sway. It feels more real to me. So let's just go with that and let's call it Christmas. I don't need the love triangle of it all because you still have Dennis in your life. That, to be honest with you, is more of a triangular type situation that I would be actually much more interested in. And I don't need the whole situation with Mike because I don't believe it. So when K. Michelle later goes on a date with Castian and Porsha and Mike and is like, I don't believe it then either. So whatever. All I know is that K. Michelle is not going to go to the Halloween party because she don't believe in Halloween. Allegedly, right? But she's going to go. And I don't mean allegedly, but I'm just saying allegedly she's not going to go. Anyway, so when it comes down time to do the Halloween party, most of the girls are coming except for Porsha. Porsha and is on the double date with K. Michelle. K. Michelle will later go because Castian has convinced her to come, which I did find to be like, if this is the K. Michelle I was going to get, then this is the K. Michelle I would prefer to keep, right? The friend who shows up, even though it kind of doesn't, go with her belief system. The friend who says, I'm going to have a conversation with you and I'm going to see what it is that I can glean from this situation so we can be better. The friend that is pulling everybody to the carpet and says what she needs to say then. But there is another K. Michelle that is lurking that I don't quite get. That is the K. Michelle that has endless commentary about Drew. Now, here's the thing, okay? I'm gonna be for 100% for real with y'all. I don't really buy a lot of what I see from Drew. I just don't. I'm sorry. I love Drew, the actress, okay? But I feel like Drew, the actress, is portraying Drew, the housewife. I do. I would rather see Drew, okay? I want to see Drew in more of these acting scenes with the people that she's starring with, her acting coach. I want to see less of the team. It's not that, and it's no offense to the team. It's not. It's just that I don't need it to understand Drew better. Okay. If the people around you are not going to help us understand you better, then they don't need to be there. For instance, let me give you a great example. Now, I don't know if this is by design or just by happenstance, but the people in Porsha's life are Lauren, her mom, Dennis. They are positioned there to show us more of who Porsha is outside of this friend group. Okay? They do a very good job of giving us that. This is why she is the lead, because she has that group. And this is also why you don't see much of Phaedra. I'm sorry. I hate to say it this way. Let's be 100% for real. We don't see much of Phaedra, except in scenes with the group. The little bit that we do see of her, it's like a sprinkle here and there. Fairy dust. That's all it is. Fairy dust. So anyway, I digress. Let's get back to the Halloween party. This Halloween party was so chopped and screwed to me. I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing here? All right. The place is done nicely, but I feel like as I'm watching this, I always feel like Shamia is the butt of the editing joke. They show her husband and they show a ghoul laughing. It's like, girl, like, do you see? Do you see? You do not see? They have reduced your wealth and your riches to comedy at your expense. You are dressed as the Avatar. And I get it. If this were not Housewives, I would say this is cute. But it's the fact that you're dressed as a blue avatar that I just think is wild. Because it makes you in an argument look crazy. It's already one thing to argue in costume. It is a completely different thing when you look like an oddly shaped like animal. And I don't mean like your body shape because your body is bodying, right? But I mean, I wish that you had been like Diane Carroll. I mean, you don't know Dynasty. We discussed that earlier. um Elvira. Like The Bride of Frankenstein. Something to where you don't look ridiculous in an argument. Okay? I'm just gonna say it like it's gonna say it like it is. Okay. Now, granted, the costume is fun. I just feel like it positions you as the butt of the editing joke. Okay, which they did a lot of for a lot of people. All the girls come. What really we see Jarvis in his mask. We know the Phaedra tells us he's a real person. So shout out to that. But the big points of this is there is going to be a bum off. Like we're going to try to guess whose bum is in the cast. Like whose bum is we looking at? Which as they're doing it, I'm like, did I find out ever whose bum we were looking at? Kelly and Drew going off about who got a flatter bum, but I'm like, did we ever find out whose bum it was? Like, this is probably why I was like, so like, what is going on in this episode? But before we can get to that, we got to have the obligatory, like, all cast sit down. And Shamia starts it off, unfortunately, by making yet another public apology for making everyone feel so uncomfortable. Girl, you are at your house. That girl is not here. You should be entertaining your guests. You should be talking about your rum, and you should not be talking about that mess that you left that you don't want to talk about. You just said it. You don't want to talk about it. You just told K. Michelle you was gonna let her have it. Stop like, girl, why? So she sits the girls down. Angela ain't there yet. Okay, mind you. Angela nor her kitten heels are not there yet. So they want to sit down and they want to find out, girl, what you and Porsha. Oh my God. I would be like, I am not talking about her. Out of respect for our friendship, I get that y'all might have felt a certain type of way, but I'm not talking about it. End of story. Period. Put a pin in it. We're all done. Meanwhile, so then it turns into, Shamia feels like nobody said anything to Porsha during the off season when she had posted that post about her mom doing something egregious. And I'm like, yeah, girl, everybody was off work, right? Porsha is working, okay? But she is working for herself in that moment. What I mean by that is Porsha is reacting to something, and what Porsha does this though. Porsha will post something and then she'll delete it because she'll just, she'll get the people talking and she knows how to do that, right? She's smart. She's been in this game for a minute. Either you react then and you fall into the trap, or you don't react ever, okay? So if you don't respond then, don't ever respond later, okay? Don't ever respond because that's your choice. In that moment, that was your move. I'm not going to respond. Boom, got it, period, done. But don't wait 6 months later, okay? Because nobody's going to know. Girl, what? Because, people in the world of reality TV, y'all too, most people got short memories. So they're not going to want to, whether it's convenient or not, they're not going to remember this slight from this moment right here. Because, girl, they live in their lives. They adults. We are adults. I don't know what's going on. I mean, unless I was, and the only reason I know is because this is what I do, right? But outside of that, if I was like a casual viewer, I probably wouldn't see this. I probably wouldn't have seen it. So I know that the cast members ain't sitting around thinking about, oh my God, did you see what Porsha wrote? Like, no, Cynthia's off with her man somewhere, right? Anyway, so they can only deal with what they're dealing with in real time. And that was what you gave them was real time. Meanwhile, and she's like, yeah, just like the whole Angela situation. And so I brought Ashley here, who is Mr. Crash to Cash's wife, to let y'all know that what really happened. And I did not sleep with that man. So the girls are all sitting there. Ashley is there. This is her moment. This is her moment. Ashley, girl, I'm saying you're very attractive woman. Yes, indeed, you're very. I mean, but a little too demure for this show, I would say, because she's like, yeah, well, Angela, she called and she wanted the tea, and I didn't have no tea for her, essentially. So Angela comes in, doom, 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 in her kitten heels. I mean, and I say she came stomping in like, what up? What these hoes talking about? What y'all talking about? I mean, Angela was on a 10 to me. She was on 10. And she probably felt like she had to be because she coming in and they got Ashley there. Uh-oh, I recognize my neighbor here from down the street. So anyway, she's like, what's going on now? Let me be ready. So she and she is on it. Okay. She is on it. I never told you that. What I did do was I called you and I said, do you know her? Do you know her? And you are lying. I did not say this, that, or the third, and I did not do this and this and that, do that, do. That was Angela. Okay. And Ashley is just like, well, you did no. I'm like, girl, if this was your moment, I don't know if this was your audition, if this was your moment, you failed. Okay, you failed because Angela in that moment was louder. Okay, she was definitely more energetic, and I'm not gonna say she was aggressive, but she was definitely more assertive. Okay. And therefore, if you weren't really paying attention, you would think that Angela was correct, which is why Porsche, later on, Drew is like, she's vindicated because Mr. Crash the Cast comes over. Okay. The Riddler. And he was dressed absolutely appropriately as the Riddler because to me, he is a riddle. Because I don't understand why you would even joke about somebody looking so good that you had to pay them and they were not your wife at a charity event. Okay. Such that Angela would, it's a complete stretch. Okay. If he said this in a room full of people, that you would go back and think that that meant that he paid for Shamia to do some intimate things so that he could give her some cash and there won't no crash. That's a stretch, Angela. That is a stretch of the imagination. Okay. Now, again, though, because Angela, see, I'm not mad at, I'm mad at Angela, but I'm not mad at her. I'm mad at her in the sense that, girl, you took us through there. Okay. You didn't taken us through there with this with this mess of a situation. And I'm still looking at you crazy, but I'm not mad at if you're going to be wrong. Okay. You better at least make me feel like you think that you are right. Okay. And that is what Angela did. She was very, she was adamant that she's right about this situation. Thus, Drew is convinced, but I don't think it would have taken much, right? Angela's vindicated. Hercules. And so I'm looking like, girl, what? Yes, she is vindicated that George said that, aka the Riddler, but she's not vindicated in that it happened like she said it did. Okay. So I'm like, potential spam. If you guys call me one more freaking time, stop calling me. Okay. Anyway, sorry. They just be annoying. Like, I didn't press the button. Decline. You gonna call right back? No. Get off my line. Meanwhile, I'm like, what is happening here? And then there's a back and forth between Kelly and, I mean, listen, I'm not mad at Kelly jumping in there because I feel like Drew jumps in there for Angela. I feel like if people gonna have their backup, then everybody can have their backup. And Kelly, just like Drew jumps in there for Angela, Kelly jumps in there for Shamia, and she get to talking about that. I love a kitten heel, okay? I be joking with my friends all the time about kitten heels. My friends can't stand a kitten heel, all right? My friends feel like a kitten heel if they unstable. A kitten heel looks fun to me, right? I don't know why when I see a woman with a kitten heel, I want to, and I text my friends all the time. I'm like, you see, they are in style, right? They are in style. But all my friends, they're like, either you're gonna put on the high heel or you're not. Okay. So I don't know how y'all feel about kitten heel. Y'all let me know. Angela in her kitten heel, baby, let me tell you something. I can't even, it's hard for me to be mad at her with the kitten heel. So she get to listen. The thing I like about Kelly though is she got some cojones on her. Cause girl, they could say a lot about you, and Angela does. She's like about as short as your lease on the house that you were leasing from Shamia. I said, girl. Anyway, that aside, Ashley, to me, you did not pass the audition. Okay. George, if anything, passed the audition because George feels a little messy. Okay. But I feel like George is just about the cash. Like I'm just here to make some cash. Y'all call me. Call me if you need, call me if you crash. Anyway, K Michelle get to talking about the way the man looked. I have to tell you that I could not see George because I felt like the lighting was so bad. So I don't know what he looked like. But maybe that was my TV and yours. I don't know. But what I will say is that then there is some situation where as they're judging the bums, that gets interrupted by Gerald, who has a surprise, and it is actually a black horse for Drew, who has shown up as Cowgirl Carter by the man named Terry. For those of us that don't know Terry, Terry was a man that was alleged, I think, pictured back a couple of years ago with Nene Leakes. Okay. Terry was also at an event that Drew was speaking at that was also invited by Pinky to the skate party that showed up for Drew, and Drew acted very demure about. Now, later on, I guess Drew's makeup artist or someone on her team has set him up. And I apologize if it was not the makeup artist. I don't know who it was. Set her up with the man so that they could go out on a date and he does not show, so he's humiliated. Then she shows up in her Cowboy Carter outfit. He shows up. I don't know if he was supposed to be Jay-Z. I'm not sure who he was supposed to be with the black horse. We all know that, the Cowboy Carter album. She was on a white horse. Now, here's the thing. They don't have permits for this horse in this neighborhood. So what is the horse for? I mean, this whole party, the end of this party in general, the way it was edited felt like horse poop. Okay, because I didn't understand it. I didn't understand what was supposed to be happening. I still don't understand why K Michelle feels like like she's got this like hard on for Drew. I don't get it. It's never been fully explained to me. Now, what if she just thought that Drew is fake? That's one thing. And if that were the story, then I could almost say, well, okay. And maybe she knows more than what we know. I don't know. What I do know is that it's not been explained, and I need it to be explained because while I do think that there is some authenticity issues with Drew in terms of just seeing more of who she really is, I don't think that what is happening with Kay is necessarily warranted in this moment. Okay. So anyway, those are my thoughts about this week's episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let me know what you thought. I know some opinions may have sounded a little bit harsh, but best believe they're for everyone's benefit. Okay. With that being said, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell button, and I will catch you in the next video.